Avi Meyer, Segment 2, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Set us up on the web at ntnm.org. We're real big on community policing, and we're highlighting a lot of police stuff during this shoot. So we want you to get involved with community policing in your neighborhood. We want to remind you the Shomrim are having a big dinner on their annual dinner on July 7th with some terrific, very worthwhile honorees. Shomrim Society, of course, is Jewish law enforcement officers and affiliated personnel, including judges, all kinds of other things. You know what? I didn't actually plan it this way, but this is actually our 770th show. And of course, that's a very significant number in the world of Lubavitch. And by coincidence, when I saw that we're doing shows 768, 769, 770, and 771, I figured I got to get somebody from Lubavitch on the show, that's for sure. And one of my favorite people to have on is somebody, actually, I wrote a story about him when Jewish Chicago was a paid publication. And I think that was like around 1983 that I wrote that story. You know, and that was about his prison chaplaincy and somebody who's involved in a lot of different activities and done a lot of good for a lot of people over the years. And his main concentration now is the Hinda Institute, and that is Rabbi Binyomin Scheiman. Welcome, how are you?
I'm doing well, doing great, thank God.
Thank you, and I want to let you know he's available on Facebook and Twitter, and he's a real good Twitter, and he twits well, he Facebooks well, whatever, and it's a good place to introduce yourself to him. So tell us about the Hinda Institute.
Well, the Hinda Institute is the organization I formed after my wife passed away. It'll be her second yahrzeit coming up very soon on the 27th day of Iyar. And I've always been doing the prison chaplaincy, but in her honor, we've expanded the work we're doing. Besides myself going to prisons, I've now hired 2 other staff members, and my wife very much loved children and women and always had her heart open for them. So we have a couple that works specifically to help children. We have a story of a little girl, she's under 10, her father went to prison, and she's scared. She sees her mother and brothers and sisters are confused. The mother doesn't have any money. They don't know if they could put food on the table. They don't know if they could pay the rent. And the mother is a little ashamed to go to any of the organizations because she doesn't want to explain why she's coming. It's very hard for her. And so our organization, we intercede. When we meet the people in prison, we say, can we have your wife's number? Can we have your mother's number? We speak with the families, and we give them the strength. We show them where to go. We hold their hand. We make sure they go to the right agencies. We help them pay the rent. We get the little girl her coat for the winter. We get her a summer camp scholarship for the summer so she could continue having a good time. We buy our toys for Hanukkah. And this has been a very, very, very successful part of the Hinda Institute. One of our staff people runs a conference call for mothers and wives about once a month, and we have about 20 or 30 mothers from all over the state of Illinois participating on this call to support each other. And we also, before Hanukkah and Purim, we had mothers come together to bake hamantashen, to make a little Hanukkah party, and it's very, very important for these families. They feel so isolated from the community, it's like a nightmare. They didn't commit a crime, and yet they're ashamed to go to the synagogue. They're ashamed to go anywhere. They think everybody's looking at them as well. Oh. So we reach out to those children, to those mothers, to those wives. This is one of the main areas that we're working on right now.
I think that's important, and you know, making people feel human is huge. I mean, if somebody doesn't have regard for their own worth, it's very hard for them to be productive and useful to themselves, their family, and society.
Right, but it is very a unique situation, particularly in the Jewish community who goes to prison. So it's really, it's almost worse than a financial or a medical situation. How do you deal with it? How do you explain people, oh, where's your father? Oh, he's away. It's hard in school. Some of the kids, they find out, they even make fun of the kids. So they get bullied. So we have to be there to help them.
No, I think that's very important and very crucial. And approximately how many Jewish prisoners are there these days?
I would base it on Ma'od Chitim, a great organization. They donate every year for Pesach. They ask me how many prisoners I have in the county and state system, and I took 135 packages from them this year.
Wow.
And they donate a lot, most of the food. The Ark, another great organization, they donated a salami for each one of the inmates. And I have an individual from my congregation who donated a shmura matzah for each one of the men and women.
Nice.
And then we get a Seder plate. There's a great organization called the Aleph Institute. They donated a Seder plate for each one of the institutions. So I would say we're holding, unfortunately, over 100 Jewish men and women that are incarcerated.
Wow. So, anyway, you know, it's funny because compared to other populations, it's actually a very small amount percentage-wise, but still each person is a human being.
Correct.
And each person counts, and it's real easy to look at numbers and dismiss it that, you know, we have, 280,000 or to 300,000 Jewish people in the state of Illinois, but still in all, each and every single soul is an important soul.
Correct. And then each one of those souls that we see have 8 to 10 people in their family that are affected. So we're affecting about 1,000 different individuals. It's not just the person inside. It's their children, their mother, their father, their brothers, their sisters, and wives. So other people are being affected as well.
Yeah, now we're not allowed to directly to ask for money on this show, but is there a way people can help you?
I have a very easy way. We have a simple website. We have Hinda, Hinda, helps.com. HindaHelps.com. If somebody wants to go see our work or the lectures that I do or the talks I did. I was in Southern Illinois University a couple of months ago. I did a lecture for the students there, and right on the website there's a way how to, if somebody wants to donate, they certainly can.
Now, the last time I talked to you, your son was also involved.
I have 2 sons involved.
Wow.
One is in Carbondale, working with the students, and he visits 12 prisons in Southern Illinois.
Wow.
And then my other son is the one who's working, his wife works with the children, mothers, and wives. And my son up here, I just came out of Cook County Jail with him today. He goes every week to Cook County Jail. We met 8 to 10 people from the neighborhood there that are unfortunately there over the weekend or over a week. And then he has a mentoring program. He has 36 different men and women that are out of prison that he studies with every week on a weekly basis, an hour each, and 0 recidivism rate. The people that actually learn with him do not go back in. So the national rates are about 70%. The people my son isn't directly involved with as a mentor, it's very rare anybody goes back. So he's working with them. That's another one of our programs is our mentor program. And when the people come out, my son studies with them, learns with them over the phone. He delivered to about 17 people shmura matzah for Passover. He read Megillah for a number of the men and women that he was seeing. So it was really, it's an amazing program, and it's really helping people in a meaningful way.
No, thank God. And this is really terrific work. And you know, you would think, I remember the first time I heard what you were doing, and this is goes back 32 years, I guess, at this point. That's slave, hurt. Okay, that's a Jewish mathematics here. Each thing has each number has a letter value, and 32 actually is slave, which is heart. And by the way, he does have a big heart, and he's helped an awful lot of people, obviously, and he's continuing to do that, and it's spreading and spreading and spreading like Ebola. So, but in a good way, in a very good way. What other subjects would you like? What else is the Hinda Institute doing?
Well, when a person gets out of prison and they go to maybe a halfway house, they still have to find employment. They still have to find a job. And I have 2 men that I know of personally that we have had to lay out funds or lend them funds for a rental to help them get some penalties off so they can get their driver's license back. We've helped at least 2 or 3 men personally, put them on their feet. Now they're employed. Now they have their jobs. Now they have their rent paid, and they're independent now. In fact, I have one man who we helped out in a certain way, and he now inherited some properties from his father, which he intends to sell, and I think, is going to pay back everything to us.
Very nice.
But that initial outlay, and this is after they've been to the ARC and the Federation, the other agencies, they still need a little bit more. So we don't want to see them for a few $100. I don't want the man going back to prison or resorting to stealing or using drugs again. I want to make sure if I give you this few dollars, will you stay straight? And the man says yes. And it helps.
Terrific.
Saving lives.
This is great
Saving
stuff.
lives.
As they say in French, Baruch Hashem. Good.
Yeah.
It's definitely good work. So do you have any plans for expansion?
Well, we have submitted a proposal to the Jewish Federation. They have the breakout funds. We are one of the finalists for their grants, and we put in for a $25,000 grant to expand our help of the families. We want to help more women, more children, more mothers. We want to put a special focus, maybe even get another staff person to expand our work with the mothers and the children. That is so, so important, because some of the people frankly tell me, Rabbi, we don't want to help the people you're seeing. They're crooks, they're criminals, they're dangerous. But then I say, but what about their wives and children? They're innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. And that's the area which I think everybody could agree on, that we're helping families that are broken by this ordeal. We really want to help them. So that's where we plan to expand our work. And that's something my wife would have done personally. She loves the women and children.
Yeah, her memory should be for a blessing, and her second yahrzeit coming up. But thank God you're doing some good work in her name and expanding on it too. And I want to wish you all the luck in the world. If people want to contact you and check out the Hinda Institute, they go to
HindaHelps.com. HindaHelps.com. And a lot of information, a lot of articles, a lot of interviews. I think my last interview with you is on the HindaHelps.com,
right.
And they'll be able to see this after. We'll link it up after it airs.
Very cool. And you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. He doesn't say Rabbi there. It's Binyomin Scheiman.
Yes,
and,
Binyomin S.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, check out me, because we're in contact all the time through social media. It's really a good place to be able to communicate. And all the guests I have today, I didn't pick up the phone once. It's all social media. So you know how I got everybody here. So I want to thank you very much, Rabbi Binyomin Scheiman. I wish you all the luck in the world and success in your very worthwhile endeavors.
Thank you.